Yeah. So speaking of those getting people ready, we sort of been talking a little bit about the organization getting ready for change and how they approach it. But I also want to hit on the entrepreneurs who are coming into these companies. The companies say, we're an innovation forward company, and so they start to hire people who are like, well, innovation, I'm totally into that. I want to come in here. And once they get in there, they're sort of met with a sort of resistance or or not necessarily people resisting, but it's hard to create that change within the company because there's just so much structure in place and the way that we've always done things. Where do you think that sort of falls apart for these people coming into these companies? They come in all bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, all very excited, and they can slowly sort of get the wind knocked out of them over time. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think
as a narrator,
I think somewhat it's the own assumptions on both sides. So it's assumptions that you've said you're ready. You've hired me to innovate. Let's go. I'm ready to act. Well, that's an assumption. And I think in our communications we assume that if it was as easy as what I say is what I do, we'd all be. Life would be much easier. So I think partly it's challenging the assumptions, and it's starting with, okay, what is keeping, what's maintained, what's the value of the status quo, understanding before I jump to proposing action. So, and also just being very careful of not immediately assuming what we say is what we do. So working some time and understanding those assumptions that you're making as an entrepreneur, understanding the assumptions that are being promoted to you and not challenging them, but just making sure that they really are as clear as they are. And then not ensuring, I'm a psychologist, most of the work that we do with upper executives, 60% of our communication is nonverbal. And this is why to some extent I'll never fully believe in surveys. And I'll always believe that as far as we advance with virtual and electronic interaction, there's a great deal that we miss, particularly with virtual teams, because you don't pick up trust, you don't pick up confidence in change. Believe the person doing it if you haven't had an opportunity to be with them face to face. Now, I'm not saying that needs to be every day. I'm not saying that needs to be throughout an entire change. But you need to, as human beings, we need to start trusting our instincts, especially as entrepreneurs. And if it feels bad, or this doesn't feel right, trust your gut, trust your assumptions. Don't jump too quickly. Just because on paper, it all says this is what we're going to do. And that's a lot of the coaching and facilitating I've done to groups is, wait a minute, where's your gut feeling about it? I think you mentioned this yesterday.
Yeah, I think there's two things. So one is, that respect of organizational knowledge and organizational history. So quite often when we come in, it's so clear to us what the problem is, and we're going to fix it, and you just need to do this. I did this at another organization and it worked really well, and and I think that really taking the time to get an understanding of the knowledge in the room, what people bring to the table, what their concerns are, where they think they've been successful, really doing that initial scan to set the climate and understand, frankly, what buttons not to push, what places to push harder in terms of getting additional knowledge is huge. We made a really deliberate decision with our HR Accelerator Lab that we're all internal. So we brought people in from the lines of business, and we trained them on agile methodology, startup, design thinking, and it was because we wanted people at the table with those partners to be able to say, I know your business, I actually understand, I've lived it, here's what I've seen, here's been my experiences, and hoping that it will take that tension, some of that tension away. Having said that, there is still tension. So even with an internal resource playing that role, it doesn't make it go away entirely. But what it does do is it takes away some of the, I would say, resistance in terms of, okay, you're coming in as the expert. Well, no, you're coming in as an organizational partner, and you have an understanding of, an ally, it's a great word, what it takes to get things done in this organization and how complex it is. And so you're starting at a different level versus, again, an external consultant coming in. It's kind of like you have no idea who we are and what we do and how we get things done. And so you have to overcome that first. So at least we're one step ahead. But that tension is still there in terms of, we always talk about our business lines at RBC. Everyone is special. Everyone is different. We break it all down, and they're not so
You don't
special. They're not so
understand
different. We are all special because we're RBC. But it really is. There are such commonalities, but going in with the respect that you are different.
And actually,
How do we discover your
each
difference?
sector says that.
Absolutely.
Healthcare says you have no idea. You don't understand because we're healthcare.
Yeah.
IT says that. So, by the way, there's no sector that isn't special. which kind of defeats the point of the word special.
So there is value in just walking around. I mean, we tend to do everything by email or text message, but there is value in walking around and getting to know the people that you're working with. Just exchanging. It's the first step to building a trusting relationship, and to get them to open up to you and to really sit down and listen to hear what the other person has to say.
I think you building on that is shifting yourself into a sales account manager type role. And kind of it's literally look at that and go, the executive or person holder, the person that you're trying to get something out of, has unlimited requests, unlimited resources, right? So flip it into a kind of going, why should you buy my product or project or innovation thing over the 50 other things that you're faced with? And when you shift into that mindset, you start kind of going, well, okay, if I need you to buy this thing from me, it needs to provide impact to you. It needs to help you achieve your goals, whether that be promotion, moving, whatever. And so I think sometimes we kind of assume that leaders are like, well, they'll just see the inherent buy-in because I'm really passionate about this. They have unlimited opportunities and limited resources. Why is your project or initiative better than any of the other ones? And that shifts you into that mindset of purpose, which you're going to hear me hammering on about forever. I'm going, stop thinking about how great your tool is. Start thinking about how I'm going to enable you to do something that you want to. And we do it with our customers. So we're supposed to be doing it with our customers. Why are we not doing it with our internal customers?
But I'll challenge you on that.
Yeah, please.
It'd be good. So yes,
No,
a
please.
salesperson, but you need to also be cognizant that you might not have the full picture. You might not know what your leader is. There might be other things going on in the background that you're not privy to, and it's okay.
Yeah.
So you have to be ready to walk away for now. Doesn't mean you walk away forever, but you just walk away with your idea for now.
Yep.
Park it. And
Well, and I think that's an excellent point. I started my career in sales like most of us, and I had a great mentor, and he once told me, he used to go around the team and say, who'd you call today, which clients? They're like, oh, research and motion, this is 2001, like, oh, research and motion, great, lead, blah, 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 so you speak to, and someone would be like, oh, the director of product sales, he's like, you do that again, you're fired. And people go, it's the decision maker, it's the head of product. I had a call with him. He's like, how many of his or her reports have you spoken to? How many of their influences have you spoken to? How much time do you spend not talking to the decision makers so that you can understand the decision maker better? So I think we often kind of go, I got to go straight to David Mackay with my wonderful new shiny thing, and I'm a puppy. But how many times have you spoken to all the people around and go, what's really, within confines of confidentiality, I gave you your stuff, but how can I know more about you than you know about yourself? And that's basic sales 101. So I absolutely agree with you, there's stuff you don't know, but I think that's our job to go find that stuff out by not asking them directly. And it's hard work.